Okay. What do you got going on today?
I played pickleball in the morning and then went to the chiropractor, and then I like grew out my beard and I guess hair, what there is of it, for like 2 weeks so that I could go to a barber shop and have them like, you know, get the beard line all set and shave my head nice and clean. And then I've just been chilling in a coffee shop for a few hours waiting for this. And then after this, I'm picking up a birthday cake for my friend and then doing a little something for his birthday. On that note, what are your thoughts on red velvet? I decided to go buck. I think I remember him saying that he liked red velvet cake, but it's a rather polarizing flavor, is it not?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's controversial.
Yeah.
It's tough to do as a main cake if that's the only
I
option.
see. That's a good point.
If you got multiple, then I think it works out great because then you can have it, you can have something else. But
Right. I don't mind that it creates like an in-group and an out-group. It's just like, look, if you don't fuck with this, great. It's for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
The worst case scenario, though, is if I remember incorrectly, and the guy whose birthday it is like, I don't like red velvet. Because that's very reasonable, right? I feel like with a lot of other cake flavors, it's like, all right, this isn't my favorite, but like, I'll fucking eat it. But yeah, I don't know. We go for gold here, so.
I guess so.
Yeah.
This is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
And COVID-free Nathaniel, as of today.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned on last week's episode, I had someone on who've been trying to get on for like a year. Nathaniel is also in that boat. Someone I've been trying to have for like a year now, it seems. You've had a busy life.
I have.
It's been like 7 months, I think.
Really? It's been that long?
I can check. But
that means that, okay. No, I've definitely been on since, no, that can't be true. Because didn't we talk about the finals?
March 10th was the last, that's when we recorded.
So like, I guess I was thinking like we did a very post Super Bowl.
I don't even know if we did that. Because we had one on February 1st.
We definitely.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's crazy because I was still teaching then. I now have not been teaching for 2 months. I'll say I know I already like earned the money and it's just delayed, but receiving paychecks while not working just feels amazing. It's all time. I just don't go to work.
Yeah, how do you
I'm
feel
not
about
going back.
The system?
No. I considered at the beginning kind of suspecting that I would not return to just get like the 10-month payment structure. But I was going to have to jump through some hoops to do that. But I earned the money. Let's make that clear. I'm not cheating the system or anything. It's just that, if anything, the system's cheating me. I could have been earning interest or doing things with this money the whole time. I have a right to it. But also, really, teachers is where you're going to be like, wow, they're not even working. They're scamming the system.
I'm attacking everyone today. Going after everything.
Yeah. Overall, I don't miss it because it was so stressful, but not like a week or two ago for the first time, I had that kind of thought where I was like, damn, I wonder how like these 8 kids are doing. Nothing's even happened in their lives. It's just summer after their freshman year of high school. But still, I'll never really know, which is tough.
Yeah, because you essentially cycle through new people every year, or you would if you stayed there. But like, I guess the job of a teacher is what I'm getting at.
Well, even if you don't have them as students, you might like see them around and like hear from their current
sure.
teachers.
Then
Yeah.
every few years.
I have no, I have no clue. I never will have a clue. I don't even have a hope at having a clue. Like, what am I going to do? Like, track down these random 15-year-olds? That'd be weird. But, you know, have them in my class every day for a whole year.
Now they're out of your life. So teaching was a success? Is that, it's a bit of an experiment for you, I guess, that we talked about probably this time last year. And so how would you rate it? How's teaching today? How's teaching the youth of tomorrow in today's America? Great, thank you.
So goofy, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I moved to Chicago within the month. Don't know exactly when. My lease starts on the 16th, but I will not be moving up immediately because there's just still some things I want to do around here in Atlanta before I leave everything I've ever known.
And today you are a bit of a nomad. You need to get a van. You need to start living out of a van.
Yeah, actually, if I could like live in a van for a minute, that would actually be kind of nice. Because yeah, I mean the reason why I'm bouncing around all over today is because I'm just touching a handful of different groups and doing a lot of things. So hopefully more of that.
You get to touch a lot of things. Yeah, so it sounds pretty busy. Let's see. Should we go? Okay, I'm gonna go over. Let's see. The list of excuses. So let's see. The first time you were sick, how was being sick in April? Okay, skipping that one then. Are you accidentally muting, or it's got to be that?
All right. I just dropped, and I think I'm back.
Okay, you dropped.
This is gonna be sus the whole time. Sorry, on my phone, little 5G action.
Oh, you'd figure 5. Okay, so I'm going through the list of reasons you couldn't come on the podcast. And the first one in April was you were sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not COVID that time. Just a classic little viral infection. But, somehow I got sick twice as a teacher. Neither time COVID. Crazy. But.
Okay, so that was your April spell. Then in June, you were traveling. You got back from Denver, is what you said.
Yeah. So I went to Denver to see my favorite bands. I bought VIP so that I could meet them for a second time. I'm going to say they remembered me. It was very vague, their recollection of me and how it occurred, but the guy in the band kind of remembered the hat that I had them sign because it was from the NHL team in their hometown of Edmonton. So I'm going to chalk that up as a win. But yeah, great show. I was then out of town again for like a Pacific Northwest road trip because I had never been to Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, and I wanted to see all that while I still had the time. So a little back-to-back traveling there kind of booked me up for a bit, but yeah, good experiences all around.
I've noticed people doing that, like when they're in between jobs, they just go on a bunch of trips and stuff.
I mean, is it not the perfect time? Like, I will not have the luxury to do that once I start law school, so got to get out of the way now.
Yeah, I guess so. It does make sense, but then it's a little counterintuitive. But okay.
Also, that Pacific Northwest trip had been in the works for like 5 years. I've been saying that I really wanted to do it for so long, and it was kind of like, look, I've been talking about it. It's time to step up. My friend Eric really made it happen. He did a lot of the planning because he's a big planner, so shout out to my boy. But yeah, it was great. Actually,
Yep.
Okay, no, sorry. We should finish the list, and then if we want to go back.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Portland is a shithole. I couldn't believe it.
Oh.
I was so excited to visit Portland. It might have been the neighborhood we stayed in, but there was no fun in like the quirky and fun. It was just bizarre shit. I'm pretty sure we saw a homeless dude like giving himself an exorcism. Like he might have dislocated his own arm. It was honestly unsettling. And it was just a bunch of bizarre stuff like that. The first time we ran across a group of like 30 somethings who looked like they were drunk and having a good time, within like 2 seconds of seeing them, the dudes just found like a corner, like a little inlet to a storefront that was closed and just started peeing. And I was like, all right, never mind. I don't like this. Everything like that was just bizarre. But then, and that was the first stop. But then that kind of made Seattle and Vancouver seem like paradise because it had similar vibes, in terms of like the essence of the city, but its patrons were not as loud or, performing unsettling acts. And, yeah, I had a great time in both those. Vancouver in particular is beautiful. What a wonderful city. First time I've been to Canada since I got my citizenship. Fun fact. So, and now I've consummated the citizenship. It is official.
Okay. So
it is
Portland's a no, and then Vancouver and Seattle seem like maybe potential destinations. I don't know.
Oh, I'll never end up anywhere over there. At least in my like professional career. Like retiring in Vancouver sounds nice, but I mean, yeah, with my legal degree, it's not bringing me to the Pacific Northwest. I mean, specifically.
Okay. All right. The next week you said you were moving.
I'm not moving next week, but
the next week after. The next week after you were traveling is what it looks like.
Oh, the next excuse. Yes. So I had to move from Atlanta.
Back to the list.
Right. I had to move from Atlanta back to my parents' place as a little 2-month pit stop. No point in paying rent when I'm not working. And both my roommates had already moved out. They both bought houses because they're adults. And they aren't hiding behind going back to school to find a way to stall moving their life forward.
Yeah. Okay, so you were moving. You were doing like a temporary move.
Yeah.
Or a move. The move was a thing, but like I guess the location was temporary. All right.
Right.
Then a month later, a little less than a month, on July 12th, you just got back from a trip, and your stuff got stolen on the last day.
Oh yeah, that's okay. So okay. Sorry, I accidentally crossed over the lines here. So I had to move out of my apartment. Like the last day of my lease was the day I went to the airport for the Pacific Northwest trip that we just talked about. And yes, a feature of that trip was on the last day of the trip, not but 20 minutes from my friend's apartment where kind of home base was. We went to get food and our car got broken into. Looking at the timing of the finds my iPhone thing from his laptop and when we parked and when we got back, they 1,000% cased us on the park. They were watching the spot. They saw us get into it. They must have kind of followed us at a distance into the restaurant, waited for us to get in there, and then immediately broke into the car. So I guess you can get good at anything, but I mean, flawless execution from these people. I got to say,
once you're a lawyer, you'll be able to handle it legally.
I mean, they're not getting caught. But yeah, the sus thing there was my passport and social security card got stolen, which is on first hearing that sounds like big oof. Ended up not really being so bad. I just had to let the passport whatever know that it got stolen and to invalidate it. And then I let the Social Security Administration know and like set up an account and froze my credit for a year just in case. But quite frankly, I'm imagining the like teenagers or whoever that did this probably realized there was nothing valuable in my bag and just like threw it in a dumpster somewhere. So
yeah, because they're
more of
looking
a
for
nuisance.
cash, fast cash and stuff like that. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. Like a comprehensive list of what was stolen was those two things: my COVID card, 3 books, my toiletries, and a phone charger. So they didn't really get away with much. But
everyday things. The COVID card is probably the hardest thing to replace.
Nah, it costs like $3. I just have to go back to also I have a picture of it, so that's going to be sufficient.
Too much money. It's too much money. Yeah. Well, okay. I think that's it. That's the end of the list of reasons you couldn't do the podcast for the last 6 months.
There was a bit of a gap from March to June where I was just trying to wrap up school. Maybe could have fit it in, but I don't know. Ooh, the ending was just like, it was a lot because I had to come to terms with like, this is going to be over soon. And closing everything out, that kind of ending transition, it was a lot.
Yeah. You don't feel any remorse for leaving? You don't want to go back? Maybe not now, I guess, but in the future.
I mean, I could see like, my time as like a lawyer in big law, if that's where I end up, is done. I've made enough money. Let me try to like, give back to the community more immediately. So there's a chance. But no, yeah, it would be long after the legal career is done.
So what's the future timeline now? You're gonna go. You're gonna move. I guess. Would you say like in a month or so? A couple weeks.
Definitely
Chicago.
Within the month. Like absolute latest September 1st.
And that's how long?
Like
questions.
Yeah, you're right. I guess that is a month, but probably a little earlier. Like August 20 something is when I guess. Honestly, because school doesn't start until the last week of September. So I would just be using all that time to acclimate to Chicago. So I can kind of just head up when I feel like I'm ready.
And you'll be in Chicago for 3 years, 4 years?
3 years. Yep.
3 years. 3 years. Yeah. How are you going to handle the cold? I think this is a relatively new thing for you.
Well, I guess you wouldn't have been around, but fun little fact, I was a bit of a meme on Georgia Tech Yik Yak for a while on freshman year because it would be like cold as all hell and I was still wearing shorts. That was back in my always wear shorts no matter what phase. So I'm ready for the cold. I love it. Yeah. I'm excited to have like fall, winter clothes that I can wear not only consistently, but comfortably. Been working on the wardrobe a little bit with some spare time this summer. And, honestly, how I think it's going to go down is the first year, I'm going to soak it up. I'm going to love like not being in the Atlanta heat. And then probably second year, I'm going to be like, actually, it's really fucking cold all the time and I'm tired of this. And then I'll just have to persevere for 2 years. But this upcoming year, I'm going to love it.
Yeah, it's just a new experience. So you'll, I guess, psychologically trick yourself into liking it no matter what.
Well, I do prefer the cold. In general.
Yeah, I guess.
So. But I haven't really had to face it. Because I've pretty much always lived in Atlanta. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty extended period of time. It gets cold in Atlanta, but just not for as long.
Yeah. And it's severe. The only time I lived in the north since I was a child was in the summer. So, yep.
You won't get this. The snow will be different, obviously. So, we'll see. You got to get a nice scraper.
Yeah, I will. Luckily, the spot that we're moving into is like a 5-minute walk from the law school. So I'm hoping that I can keep the car usage to a minimum. I think it would actually be super reasonable to not even bring the car up. But just with moving stuff, because I'm not moving anything big like desks or any kind of furniture like that, I can just bring it all up in my car, not have to deal with all that.
You're going in raw? You going in nothing?
I'm going in pretty raw, yeah.
Yeah.
But by design, like I sold off or did something with most of the furniture I had in my apartment, knowing that I didn't want to like ship all this stuff up. Because honestly, the shipping cost would probably be as much as just buying new stuff. And I'm not going to need as much as I had, especially because my living situation will be like college again, because, I'll be in college. Very like year to year, I don't really anticipate living in the same spot for more than a year, because it's pretty common for law school students to change their location kind of based on, like it works out great that for first year we're living 5-minute walk from the law school because you just spend so much time there and the emphasis is pretty much solely on grades and like classes and stuff. But you get a little more active and involved with the community 2L year and beyond, so it becomes more reasonable to live in a location where the law school is accessible, but also have access to other things. So, like, just for example, 3L year, I'll probably live, like, South Loop, like, South downtown Chicago, and take, like, a bit of a bus ride to get in, but it'll make sense to do that so that I can be closer to other stuff in the city.
Yeah, you'll probably change or you'll figure out what you like and where you like to go, and you can kind of adjust your location based off of that, I assume.
True.
Or who you like and who you don't like.
Good point. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about my roommates. Yeah, one is also a tech grad. Nice guy.
Can't trust him.
Other one went to UVA. Met him through the other roommate, and he was like, "Can we also live with this guy?" And talked to him. Got along super well. Really excited for the whole dynamic the three of us will have. Also, I feel like 2 other roommates is kind of the sweet spot. Like one is, there's a lot of weights on the relationship when you only have one other roommate, because it's like, that's it. 2 is like not too many cooks in the kitchen, but there's a little like, balance between literally? All that. Yeah, potentially literally. But I think it's a sweet spot. And then 3 starts to, still very reasonable, but I think it gets to be like a little too much.
Is it 1 bathroom? Is it 2 bath? What do you got there?
2.
See, that's, so what do you do there?
Well, I mean, that's exactly what it was in my apartment. I happened to have the master bath, but I don't mind. Either way.
I'm just saying, when you get to odd numbers, it gets a little tricky in terms of like sharing things and such like
yeah.
Like that. Is the only issue.
I actually have like a premonition, if you will, of like me shaving my head in the tub, because that's where you do it so that the hair, you can sweep it up easily afterwards. And like my roommate is like brushing their teeth or something, and we're just happily coexisting in the bathroom, having a little chat while we work on our personal hygiene. That's true fucking bonding, very intimate moment for everybody. Yeah, of course. Let's get close. Let's become best friends. The kind of experiences that you can only share by living with someone.
In a bathroom.
Right, together in a bathroom, yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Doesn't that sound fun? I mean, not every day, but just like, it happens once or twice and it's like, yeah, that's my dog. We get vulnerable and, share a bathroom.
In bathrooms.
Right, yeah, in bathrooms. Everyone's fully clothed here, I'd like to clarify.
Okay. That's everyone's first thought right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to I'm locking the door when I'm taking a shower. You know what I mean? That's not a bonding time thing, but
I don't know what type of bonding you're
for more innocuous right events, yeah, we can coexist.
Does shaving your head while fully clothed work though?
Yeah, I do it all the time. I mean, I'm like bending over when I do it. I'm not just standing up straight and shaving my head. That sounds like some psychopath shit, honestly.
Well, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if you put like a little mat, like a mat or a a bib on.
Yeah. Something I mentioned to the barber today when I was like, getting my beard done and stuff was I've been rocking the bald beard since the beginning of the year. It wasn't like a New Year's resolution. That's not quite the right word, but it was like, okay, New Year. I want to try this new thing. It's time. I should be shaving my head because the crown of my head is like that scene from the SpongeBob movie these days. So, yeah, it is. But, if I make it through another year, it might be like, all right, I'm committed to this. Time to kind of step up my tools and invest in, a little nicer things to, sculpt the look of my face. So we'll see.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we'll post it on our podcast Instagram. the evolution of your hair in all places. Okay, so you got your roommate set. I guess that's good. You didn't think there was no thought about just going solo? It's too lonely for you, too social.
Yeah, part of it's that. I mean, I think that might be different again as the requirements of law school change with each year. But I think 1L year in particular, I think it's going to be very reasonable to want to talk to other people who are in the same classes as me about, our readings. If we're confused about something, get on the same page, just kind of bounce ideas off each other. And then my experience from Plus will hopefully serve as valuable experience to assist me in cultivating that kind of culture amongst the apartment. So, yeah, I don't want it to be like a cutthroat, like everyone's on their own, figure it out thing. I'm like trying to read stuff and go over it with them like before and after class so that we can all do better and succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And what if COVID spikes up again? Like I'm like 95% sure we're like past that at this point. But if God forbid things go back to like quarantine level shit, I don't want to be fucking alone first year in law school. Mm-hmm. I don't think we can go back either. Again, 95% is like pretty high. But
you gotta convince people. I don't know you convince people that.
I'm just saying, well, also universities I think are a little more like quick to the jump there, right? Like I'm not sure everything would shut down, which still nullifies my point to some degree. But if like the primary social activity of the first year of law school in going to class is in any capacity reduced, then I want to have that social outlet in my living quarters.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, so yeah, I feel something very easy to just go straight to online. Especially
yeah, and I mean they kind of have the infrastructure for it anyway, right? Like everyone's experienced now, which I think in a backwards way almost like does open it up, but like to a little bit more of a possibility. But I think that's only true in like the educational sphere. I think you're right that like businesses and all that, like I don't really see a way for it to go back to anything like it was again. There would be way too much backlash.
Like restaurants aren't shutting down.
Yeah, I agree.
Stuff like that.
But there's a chance.
Maybe they'll do it. Yeah. Okay. What else did you want to cover today? Yeah. Kind of had to fill in on your life again in the last.
Yeah. I don't know. Kind of a dead zone for sports. I mentioned I played pickleball this morning. That was for the first time. Yeah. Luckily, ping pong transitions like a good bit. I was using a lot of like knowledge there. And you know me, I'm kind of quick, so that was fun to just like kind of be chasing balls like a dog. Take some slaps at it. So we'll see. Trying to get more into like tennis as well. But yeah.
It seems to be a theme of sports you're trying to get into right now.
What do you mean? What else am I trying to get into?
Racket based. I just meant like pickleball.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. One thing is like that partly catalyzed that was I had like a finger injury climbing. It was quite a few months ago, and like I'm now like super well rested. I took a few weeks off because of the Pacific Northwest trip, and like 2 weeks off just now because of COVID. So the finger is like definitely 100%. But that was kind of a shock to my system at first because I couldn't really climb when I had the time for a bit, which was disheartening. And I was like, dang, I got to figure out like a thing to do because I have to have a thing. So yeah, racket sports was kind of next up on the list. Have a large contingency of friends who are interested in tennis and have played for a while, and I always just kind of decline their offers, but they were always on the table. So recently I've just been saying yes instead of no, and it's opened me up to a new world.
Especially this summer, it's the time to do it. You know,
yeah, that's true.
You're in between the opportunities, we'll call it. It's not really a job, not really in between jobs, but
I might see if there's like tennis intramurals for grad students. That could be fun.
It should be, right?
Although I don't know if I'm going to have time.
Pickleball.
Pickleball intramurals. Just a bunch of late 20-somethings getting together playing pickleball.
Georgia Tech had some weird ones. They have bowling. They have what's it called? What's it called? Cornhole. They had cornhole. They made a whole intramural out of that. So.
I have not like played a good bit, but like with other people. But so my dad's retired somewhat recently, like in the past 18 months, and I think he saw like American Cornhole League stuff like on TV, and he was like, "I want to do that now." So he bought like pretty nice boards and like the bags with like the dual texture. So yeah, we play in the backyard with my brother, like a decent amount. And, I mean, I know I'm not good because like I only play with them, but sometimes I'm kind of nasty. Like, yeah, we'll play like winner stays.
Got your curveball on you?
Huh?
No, it's just a cross-reference.
We'll play winner stays and I'll just play like a dozen games in a row. Like never lose and just be like, and I don't know. I think you can also measure it somewhat objectively. It's not like, okay, if you play tennis against someone that you're just better than and you beat up on them, I think it's kind of tough to say like, oh, I'm so good at tennis because there's no like uniform scale. But if I get like 3 bags in of the 4 most of the time, that means like I'm doing something right? Like that has to translate against anybody. It feels a little more solitary unless like your play is super contingent on your opponents. Does that make sense? Or am I just trying to give myself too much credit?
There's a little bit of both. It can make sense, and you're trying to give yourself a lot of credit.
Yeah, okay, clear. Well, so I'm convinced that I'm decent at cornhole. But I won't play intramurals.
And you gotta join you gotta join the intramurals. That's the next step up.
I guess that's the only.
Go public. I think he dropped out. I think he dropped out, so we'll just keep talking until he comes back in. It's like classic 5G, and I think he's might still be in the coffee shop. So.
No, I'm not in the coffee shop. Wait, am I back?
Oh, you're not? You're still in the Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Quick mini Mount Rushmore on the spot. You ready? Intramural sports. You and me, snake draft. We get 4 picks. Do you want to go first, or should I?
Like, what are we drafting for? What's the criteria?
Just like it's your Mount Rushmore of intramural sports. But if I take something, you can't get it, so you have to consider that and prioritize accordingly.
Is it like things we would do, or things that are great that are intramurals?
What you want on your Mount Rushmore. The topic is just intramural sports.
Oh, jeez. I'm trying to think of what the intramural sports are. Okay.
All right. You going first or me?
So it is kind of like what we would do, right?
Sure. However you want to interpret it.
I think it is. That's too broad.
No, dude. Well, you got to keep it broad because we're going to have to come up with 8 things.
I'm just trying to think of like 8 intramurals.
All right, you're thinking, so I'm going to go first. 1-1, basketball.
You go first. What kind of basketball?
What the fuck? Basketball.
Like,
I played intramural basketball
full
attack.
Court?
Yes.
3-on-3 half court? What are we talking?
5-on-5 full. No doubt about it.
Those are different things.
Okay,
yeah,
you're right.
At 3-on-3.
Okay. Well, it's your pick, so.
I'll take 3-on-3 then.
Okay. See, this is good. Basketball 1-2. Love it. I mean, what a great intramural sport. Honestly, one of my favorite things at Tech. Yeah. That I did. All right, but you go again, because it's Snake.
Blake and I would have been really good on 3-on-3 if I hadn't been canceled by COVID. Okay, so the next, the other one that I played was flag football. So I'll take safety-related football.
Yeah. Great call. Ton of fun. I feel like it's also easier than people assume to kind of like incorporate everybody. Like, I think it's actually kind of a reasonable thing for, yeah.
Yeah, Nadia had never played football, and we had her as a pretty significant contributor.
And just also huge throwback to, like, messing around with friends in high school playing football. It's kind of got that nice little, like, feel to it where there's a little more, like, competitive sprinkled in, but it's like, fun. All right. I have 2. I'm going to go tennis because that is on the forefront of what I might actually do.
Yeah.
I have not really played tennis, so I don't know if it's like a thing, but I don't know. It sounds. And then, well, to keep it rolling, I'm just going to take cornhole because, that an intramural where you could like reasonably kind of like crack a beer and still do it sounds like a ton of fun. You know what I mean? Like bag in one hand, natty light in the other. This is college, baby. Let's play some sports, do a little drinking. What a culture.
Yeah. It feels like a quintessential college intramural. Okay, so I will go with, so that's all the intramurals for the record. Those are all the ones that I've ever played. So we're going off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think one that I've seen everyone has a great time is kickball.
Yeah. Again, very inclusive.
People love the kickball. Very inclusive. Everyone contribute. And again, every time I walk past people playing, I think everyone's having a blast. There's cheering, there's whatever. Going kickball.
You spend so much time not actually doing anything. You know what I mean?
That's true. All those baseball-related sports.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like baseball in intramural form, which is way more chill. So,
I was thinking about wiffle ball, but I think kickball is less. I don't want to say less skill, but It's a different type of skill. So I went with kickball over wiffle ball. All right, I need one more. Let's see. Maybe I'll go indoor. What are people playing? I was thinking maybe like a soccer or something, but I don't know how popular it is. What's left? I need options. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I can think of 8. Let's see. Wow. I'm trying to go like unconventional, obviously. Yeah. I don't want to just like name major sports. You know what? I don't even. Are you still on? Or am I talking to myself? Okay, yeah, I'm talking to myself.
I've been trying to talk. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now hear you.
Okay. I was gonna ask, like, were there intramurals for that little, like, I don't know how to pronounce it, like FUTSAL court that was like by the tennis courts or basketball courts in the CRC? You know what I'm talking about? The like mini soccer place.
I think those were. I don't know. I don't know if there were.
Because I played that like twice and had a great time. Both times.
Where is? Okay, let's see. Maybe it's in policies. No, it's not in policies.
Bro, don't look at the list.
Like a list.
Can you just pick soccer?
I need the list. Okay, I got the list. Okay, my last one. I got the last one. I got one. I'm going indoor, and it's one I probably should have played, but maybe they didn't offer it. I don't know. Dodgeball. We're going dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Okay.
Last one. Oh, I got the list now. I was thinking like indoor soccer. Maybe I should have gone racquetball. Volleyball, I'm not like a... Okay, anyway, you go.
Well, I have a question for you. You're playing dodgeball. It's the championship, okay? The whole season led to this moment. You have the opportunity to just peg some, like, unfortunate, like, kind of shorts.
Yeah, I see
not super athletic.
I don't necessarily...
Do you take just right in the face? Like, do you do it? Like, you see what I mean?
All right,
I feel a little bad
I'll
sometimes
go with the
dodgeball.
Okay. All right, let's skip the dodgeball then. I don't know. I was trying to go with an indoor one, but
yeah,
I didn't want to do indoor soccer. That just feels like a worse version of soccer. All right,
that's gonna piss some people off.
I'll go outdoors.
There's one listener right now who's like, "Fuck that guy! I can't believe he just." Disparage the name of indoor soccer.
Dodgeball is controversial. It's the red velvet of intramural sports. All right, then I will go with another popular one, ultimate frisbee.
Oh, great pick! Great pick.
Again, everyone's having a good time. It's very easy to think that you're contributing, even if you're not.
Right.
And it's very tiring. It's like deceptively tiring. You know, you think like, you just go back and forth, but you tire out easily. Yeah, more than you would think if you're just like watching. So
yeah, no, incredible.
Ultimate frisbee
wasn't on my radar. I'm not a good frisbee thrower. So is my problem.
So I pulled the list. I'm not great either, but like I can keep up, but.
I tried playing disc golf for a second there and had a good time, but yeah, just like those cross fields, just lasers that I see sometimes, I'm like, damn, like that are just so straight, you know, like everything I throw that's long has like a massive hyzer to it. I just can't help but do that. I don't know. Okay. Last pick, volleyball. That's a bit of a personal pick. I think I love volleyball.
Is this indoor? This isn't sand volleyball?
Yeah, indoor. Very Anakin of me, but boy, I don't like sand. So yeah, I want that hard court. I want one. There's 2 things I want from every time I go out to play intramural volleyball. I want one where I get up on the net and I manage to get like kind of a block. It just feels amazing, especially as someone who's not like particularly tall. On that like one play that happens every game where I like really get up there and manage to just kind of spike it to the best of my ability. Feels incredible. And I want one where I dive, end up like really feeling, the court on my elbows and like get a bit of a burn, but nothing severe. And then it goes well. Great feeling to just be like, I laid it all out for my team.
I could say I like watching volleyball, but just never was able to get into playing.
Me neither. I always wanted to play volleyball, but there were never any boys leagues growing up. Like every year, it was like, what do you want to do for sports? And I was like, I want to play volleyball. And it's like, we can't find a league for you. It's like, fuck. I don't know why. I always wanted to play volleyball. Never could though. So I think it would have made a great dig. What can I say? We'll never know.
All right, that finishes that portion of the show.
I think that was fun. That was great.
Intramural sports.
Oh yeah, we should recap. Dang, I had 5-on-5 basketball, tennis, cornhole, volleyball.
I had 3-on-3 basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I have flag football, kickball, and ultimate frisbee.
Those are good lists. Everybody now, vote now on your phones. Who won? Who has a better Mount Rushmore of intramurals?
Other ones that we could have mentioned that didn't, aforementioned dodgeball.
Oh, you're doing honorable mentions. Look at you.
No, I'm just mentioning the things that we didn't. Okay. Just mentions. It's just the mentions. Ones that could have been chosen. Dodgeball, soccer, whether it's indoor or outdoor, racquetball. We mentioned sand volleyball, softball, wiffle ball, and spike ball.
Ooh, I played spike ball for the first time in Seattle. Had a great time. I don't think we set up the net right. I think it should have been bouncier. And the rules are kind of sus, not gonna lie. Like, hitting the rim on a normal shot doesn't count? I don't know. That seems bizarre. Like, why even have a rim? You think you could set it up so that... I don't know. Now it's my turn to piss off some people. There's gonna be one spike ball diehard who's like, this fucking guy clearly has only played like a couple times and doesn't know what he's talking about. But yeah, I don't know. It was just, maybe I just think that because they aren't super in line with how like traditional sports work, right? Like the concept of like, if it's on the line, it's in doesn't apply here because if you hit the rim, it's not in, but that's weird to me. I don't like that.
Yeah,
so.
I guess so.
What's a sport where if it's on the line, it's out? Well, like for a ball. Like if you step out in football, that makes sense.
Basketball, if the ball hits the line, it's out. Doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Great call.
Yeah. Basketball. Even.
Yeah, I think, okay, I guess where I'm getting stuck is for things where the objective is to like hit the ball inbounds.
Yeah.
Usually the line, like counts as in.
Yeah, so like baseball, tennis, those are all lines in.
Yeah. So it's just a bit of a brain melt for my, caveman sport brain. Like ball touching line, like that's good. It has to be good. That's just everything I've ever known. So yeah.
It's not.
Because like in basketball, the entity that wants the ball to touch the line, if you will, is the defense. So like, if you force someone to put the ball on the line, like that's kind of that goal. This doesn't make sense, but does in my head. So I'm going to stop talking. But yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
All right. I guess we'll end the show there.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Yes, great to catch up. Sorry, it took March, August, 4 months, but glad to squeeze it in before I make an even larger transition and probably have no time at all for about a year. So
you'll have plenty of time.
I'll see you winter break.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you on probably at least once before you start, and then.
Yeah. Oh, odds you ever visit Chicago?
My brother just moved up there, so
okay,
moderate.
Yeah, well, hit me up.
I don't know how long we'll be there.
My main goal with studying and stuff is to be on top of things enough such that if someone slides through Chicago, which third largest city, very reasonable to know people who might do that at some point, I'll have time to, see them and interact for at least like half a day. So I'll be out here doing my best. So if you ever slide through, just let me know, because when's the last time we physically saw each other? Because last time you were in town here, I don't think I was able to see you.
Yeah, I think you're busy. So then it would have been March 2020. Maybe not even then.
The last time you came, or when we saw each other?
We saw each other.
Well, wait, what's March 2020?
2020. That was when I left Atlanta for good.
Yeah, all right.
February 2020? Whenever we recorded the podcast last in person.
Oh,
unless we did something. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Unless we did something together.
No, you're right. It's probably then. So, yeah, it might be like 3 years. So,
like Super Bowl 2020, the Super Bowl in 2020, probably.
I'd say that's enough time. Like, I'm not sick of
For
you.
what?
So.
Oh. Time. Yeah, so I guess it's been. I don't know when I'll go back to Atlanta. So, obviously it won't be in the next few weeks, but Chicago is probably maybe. Like I said, my brother just moved out there, so I might go at some point, maybe next year.
Yeah, I mean, if you do,
maybe like next summer.
I'll be around. So
he's just starting out. All right, thanks for coming on.
Cool. See you, man.